Picture this. It's 6:45 in the morning, your alarm just went off, and before your feet even touch the floor, your throat has already started its daily routine. That thick, heavy coating sitting at the back, that urge to clear it once, twice, 3 times, and somehow it never actually clears. You shuffle to the bathroom, drink some water, maybe make tea, and for 20 minutes it eases up, only to creep right back and shadow you for the rest of the day. And if I asked you when this started, most of you couldn't give me a date because it didn't arrive. It crept in. First, just mornings, then all day. Then it became so familiar that it stopped feeling like a symptom at all and just became part of who you are. That quiet normalization of something your body was never designed to keep doing is exactly what we're unpacking today. Because most people dealing with this have been handed the same tired advice, drink more water, and sent on their way. And honestly, you deserve a real answer instead of a brush off. So today, I want to walk you through 5 real research-backed reasons adults over 55 wake up with that constant throat mucus. And I'm going to tell you something most people never mention. These causes rarely show up alone. They stack on top of each other, which is exactly why the simple fixes keep failing you. But first, a little biology so the rest of this actually clicks. Your body makes somewhere close to 1.5 liters of mucus every single day. And you don't notice almost any of it because you swallow it automatically, dozens of times an hour. That's completely normal. Mucus isn't the enemy here. It's a protective coating that traps dust, bacteria, and airborne junk before it reaches your lungs and keeps your airway lining from drying out and cracking. The real issue isn't production, it's clearance. Your airway is lined with microscopic hair-like structures called cilia that constantly sweep mucus up and out before it ever builds up enough for you to feel it. In a younger body, that sweeping system works fast and quiet. But research shows that as we age, the speed of that ciliary sweep slows down measurably. So mucus that would have been cleared in seconds at 40 can sit and thicken for hours at 65. Meaning anything that nudges your body toward extra mucus is going to hit harder and linger longer now than it ever did before. So let's get into the 5 causes. Number 1 is something almost nobody suspects. Silent reflux, medically known as LPR. This is different from classic heartburn. There's no burning chest, no obvious warning sign, which is exactly why it slips under the radar for years. Here's what's actually happening. The valve between your stomach and esophagus loses muscle tone as you age, and when it doesn't seal completely, tiny amounts of acid drift upward, often while you're asleep, since lying flat removes gravity's help in keeping that acid down. Your throat tissue isn't built to handle acid the way your esophagus is, so even a trace of it triggers your body to flood the area with protective mucus. And clinical research shows that roughly half of people dealing with this silent reflux report 0 heartburn at all, just that constant throat heaviness every morning. Because number 2 is something you're breathing for hours a day without realizing it, your own indoor air. The EPA has documented that indoor air can be 2 to 5 times more polluted than the air outside, especially in homes with dusty carpets, unwashed bedding, and HVAC systems that haven't been serviced in a while. Add dry winter heating into the mix and your throat dries out, so your body compensates by producing even more mucus just to stay protected. And scented candles, air fresheners, and chemical cleaners pile on with low-grade irritation that never announces itself as the cause. Retirement often means more hours spent indoors, which quietly means more hours of exposure. So a symptom that's worsened over the years may have nothing to do with aging and everything to do with time spent breathing that same recycled air. Because number 3 might genuinely surprise you, your own medication. Blood pressure drugs known as ACE inhibitors, names like lisinopril, enalapril, or ramipril, are incredibly common and effective, but they carry a well-documented side effect where a compound called bradykinin builds up in the body and irritates the throat and airway lining, triggering constant throat clearing and thick mucus in somewhere between 5 and 20% of people who take them. The tricky part is timing. This side effect can take weeks or even months to show up, so almost nobody connects a medication they started 10 months ago with a throat symptom that began 7 months in. If this applies to you, a 2-minute conversation with your pharmacist can confirm whether your medication belongs to that class, and your doctor may be able to switch you to an ARB that achieves the same result without the same throat irritation. Cause number 4 circles back to hydration, but with a twist almost nobody explains properly. Your mucus is about 95% water, and its thickness depends entirely on how hydrated your tissues actually are. Mild, everyday dehydration, not the dramatic kind, just slightly below optimal, is enough to thicken that mucus and make it stick right where you feel it. And here's the part that matters most for this age group. Research shows your thirst signal becomes noticeably less reliable as you get older, so you can be dehydrated enough to affect your throat without ever feeling thirsty, which means waiting to feel thirsty puts you behind before you even start. And finally, because number 5, the one I want to explain carefully, your nervous system, I'm not saying this is in your head. I'm saying your vagus nerve, which runs from your brainstem through your throat, chest, and gut, directly influences your airway. And when your body is under sustained, quiet, everyday stress, health worries, sleep troubles, financial pressure, that ongoing strain shifts your nervous system balance in a way that's been shown to increase mucus production through inflammation in the airway lining, whether or not you consciously feel stressed. Now, a quick and important pause. Most throat mucus is exactly what we've discussed, harmless and manageable, but please see a doctor promptly if you notice blood in your mucus, worsening difficulty swallowing, unexplained weight loss, new swelling in your neck, or a voice change that isn't improving. Not to panic, just to be safe. And here's what you can start tonight. Stop eating at least 3 hours before bed. Raise the head of your bed with a wedge instead of extra pillows. Swap out your HVAC filter and consider a bedroom air purifier. Ask your pharmacist about your blood pressure medication. Start every morning with a glass of warm water before your coffee and spend 5 slow, deep breaths each morning with a longer exhale to calm your nervous system down. None of this requires a prescription, just a little knowledge and consistency. If you've been told this is just aging, I hope this gave you a clearer, more honest picture, because you're not just getting older. There's real, layered, understandable biology behind what you're feeling every morning, and it's absolutely worth addressing.